Welcome to another episode of the Southern Hang Podcast. Before we dive into this episode, I'd like everyone to sit back, let me paint a picture and set the mood. Let's all mentally pour a nice drink neat. Allow that drink to release the aromas of corn, wheat, rye, and burnt oak. If you like, maybe even light a cigar. Are your drinks ready? Is your mood and mind set? Let's all get ready to enjoy a great show. On this episode, we get the honor of talking with Carrie Van Winkle, great-granddaughter of Julia and Pappy Van Winkle. She and her siblings are the current generation of Van Winkles to run the business of possibly the world's most famous, if not infamous, bourbon. Carrie, welcome to the show, and thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to talking to you. We got to meet at Bourbon and Beyond for a little while. I got to meet you and your sisters, and y'all were running the Pappy tent out there. But now we get to sit around and talk a little longer.
Yeah, it was a blast.
I have to assume that's a pretty popular tent out there, yeah?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer for us. It's fun, and it's, great brand exposure, and we sell a lot of cigars and get to meet a lot of people and, listen to good music, and it's just like such a great combo. Can't ever complain about that one.
Heck yeah. And that was Pappy and Company, right? That you're not out there handing out free shots of.
I know people ask all day long.
23-year-old. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just easy when I say like, yeah, we don't drink it either. We're here, having fun and drinking tequila. So, not really. So we were drinking bourbon at Bourbon and Beyond, but.
Well, that's a great. So, tell us what that difference is. I mean, obviously, we're based in Louisville, Kentucky, and then the world. If you're a bourbon drinker, everybody knows your great grandfather and Pappy Van Winkle, that name brand. But what is, give us a breakdown of Pappy and Company and what the difference is between the, between the two different brands there.
Yeah. So 12 years ago, my sisters and I started Pappy and Company, which was created just as an extension of the family business. So my dad, Julian, created Pappy Van Winkle, and he's third generation in the industry. And so it was a way for us to get involved, and there was a need for this merchandise type of product that, when you have such a famous brand, that there was no merch. So that was our first thought. And then very quickly it turned into something more, and really got interested in just well-made products that we were inspired to make either by our heritage or our history. Like, for example, the cigars, because obviously that's so specific to the Pappy Van Winkle brand, with Pappy smoking a cigar on the label. So that was one of the first products we ended up making. And so then it just kind of expanded from there into all these lifestyle products that we realized that we either wanted in our everyday lives or that we, like I said, were inspired by our history to make. So it's just been an evolution of that, and it's going to continue that way, I think, which is really fun. So we work with our family business, and we're, over time we're having to figure out how to work more closely together when we work separately, and how you really kind of explain it. But we're all the same family. We're just working on different stuff, doing different things while working together too.
Yeah. And in each, and Carrie, you're a triplet. I don't know if we said that, but Luis and Chenault. And so, and then your brother Preston, is that correct?
Yep. And he's
all y'all are involved.
Yes. So the three of us sisters started Pappy and Company, and my brother, when he got out of college, he started working for my dad on the distillery side. And now as time evolves, the three of us are definitely more involved in the distillery side, just because I think of the just where we are in the family business. But traditionally, Preston's worked with that, and we started our own thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how was that? You hear all the time with twins or triplets, kind of a little bit of intuition, if you will, right? Being able to, I don't say read each other's mind, but if you guys are working together all the time, is there a lot of kind of get a sense of where the other's going, or does it create opportunity for clashing? Or
yes,
and I think as I understand, you each kind of have your own swim lane, right? But
yep. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like we don't have that like innate sense that people talk about that what like a sixth sense or whatever that what your
Yeah.
sister's
Mhm.
actually thinking. But I think because we know each other so well, it's easy to be like, oh, I know Chenault would say the same thing, or Louise would like that too. But then at the same time, because we are so opinionated and have our own thoughts and ideas and work so closely together that we can easily have different ideas as well. But generally speaking, we're very aligned in most things, I should say. Which helps, I mean, I think that is one thing where, we're all the same age. We obviously grew up together. We mostly had the same friends. We went off to college. We obviously, and even in high school, sometimes we'd have our special little friends from class or whatever. And then in college, we created our own friend groups. I went to College of Charleston and they went to UK. But then in the end, we're all friends. Like those college friends of theirs at UK are my friends today. And so we're so close in that regard, that we share such similar lives in so many ways that we do know each other so well that we can easily kind of answer for the other, unlike siblings who are, I think, more spread apart or just have lead very different lives. Like I like to say, like, oh, you all are so, either people say like, you all are so different, or they say, what are your differences? But our best friends will say like, oh my God, they're drastically different. But it is interesting that I always say, like, if you like me, if if we get along and have fun, like you're going to like my sisters. Like, so we have that in common, that we're the same kind of type, even though we're very different. So I think that's that identical part that's like the same type, but doesn't mean that you're identical in all the ways, because we are very different.
And then,
Well, y'all, go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say, before we went live, you were mentioning you moved all the way out to Utah. So, so what
Idaho,
brought you,
yeah.
or Idaho?
Idaho.
That's right.
Idaho.
Sorry, I had Utah in
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Well, at least you
You
didn't
moved
say Iowa. A lot of people are like, how's Iowa?
Yeah, somewhere out west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Midwest, West, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Um,
So what brought you out there?
yeah. So I moved out after college with Louise, one of my sisters, and we just didn't know what we were quite doing after college, and it was just a fun thing to do. Just kind of live in this mountain town and just kind of give yourself some time and not worry about, we definitely weren't focused on a career when we graduated. We weren't that type. And so we just had a bunch of fun and had odd jobs, and met our husbands out here. And then Louise, her husband originally was from Chicago, but he went to college out in Denver. And so it was just more natural for them. Louise was just kind of more of a homebody anyway. She went to UK. She just had always had that pull to move home. And so, yeah, they've been back in Louisville for like 14 years. And then my husband's from Boise. And once we started having kids, and I have two boys, 11 and 16 almost. And I mean, now once you have kids, this is their home. So there goes,
Yeah, that's right. I lived away from Kentucky for a while, and while I was there, I always got two common questions as soon as someone found out I was from Kentucky. One is, have you been to the Derby? And two,
Yep.
what's your favorite bourbon? And
Yep.
so, being a Van Winkle, I imagine those conversations are only, exponential.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny because we're not big horse people. I didn't grow up going to the Derby. I got to go sometimes because my cousin always had a box. But my parents have never really cared about going. But then it's like, well, yeah, we're not in the horse business, but we're in the bourbon business. So we do have that other strong side.
Right.
I'm like, but yeah, we sell whiskey. And they're like, oh my God, of course we do.
So being a Van Winkle, but obviously you didn't think anything about it. You're just mom and dad. But was that something you recognized as a kid, that anything
Absolutely.
was, hey, I'm tied to some famous bourbon, or was it just, hey, this is just mom and dad and life and normal? And
it was just,
was there a time in your life that you like, hey, wait a minute, this is this is kind of trippy,
I mean,
or
it was such a
never.
slow evolution that maybe, I'm in my 40s, maybe in my 30s, I realized, like, truly, it was just so nothing to, it was just what our dad did. He went to work, and part of it was because the fame that's happened with Pappy Van Winkle did not start until the mid 90s. And so I graduated high school in 97. So things kind of started like, just escalating and gaining more popularity when I was in college. And then I, had my own life and got my husband, and now it's like, we're having to work really hard to make sure that we're protecting the brand that just kind of became this in front of us, and my dad was not prepared for or didn't expect. All he did was have his head down and keep working, and then it's kind of like you look up, and then here you have this in front of you. And so now we're stewards of understanding that, but it's not been long that we've had that mindset.
Well, it's that. So you can see that though. Like y'all are very humble people. At least the short little time that we got to hang out at Bourbon and Beyond, I really enjoyed our time hanging out and meeting your sisters.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, these are good people. Like sometimes you'll meet, I don't know, and I'm not, just y'all were very humble, hardworking, honest people. The little bit that I got to spend with you, so I thought that was cool. I thought y'all were grounded. Yeah.
Well, we don't have another way, and at least not yet. And we want to keep that up for our children. It's like, we don't want them to know what they have at their fingertips either, because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you stay humble? But you can. And I think if you have the right foundation and you have parents who don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses and who just don't care about the superficial stuff, then I think you could still have all of this really special part in your life, but not take advantage of it or be obnoxious with it, or not someone you want to talk to and hang out with. I don't know.
Sure.
Carrie, you talked about as far as the company and you started with merch, and it kind of grew from there. And you said it was 12 years ago. Is that right?
Yep.
So when you start off, what did you start with? What were kind of the things you were beginning with?
I wish I could remember exactly how many SKUs we had, but I think it was literally like 2 t-shirts, a koozie, a set of glasses, and a hat, maybe 2 hats. That's
awesome.
Started in my sister's basement with 5 or 6 SKUs.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow. Yeah, because I was looking at the website of just all the different things that are out there, and it's a lot more than that now. There's not 6 SKUs or whatever you just named.
Right.
There's a lot more to it. What is the thing that you have, and you may just look over your right shoulder, but the thing you have in your house that you're using now that you didn't think you were gonna, it wasn't on that, it wasn't a t-shirt, it wasn't a
right. Oh my gosh, there's lots, which is fun to say, to think I have so many things to tell you. But like right now, my go-tos are this jigger that I've always been obsessed with, this jigger of my grandfather's. It was this silver jigger. And when I'm at my parents' house, for some reason, I've just been the one who makes the cocktails. And I just always appreciate it so much because it was tiered. It was like fluted, and it had the tiers indicated like 1/2 ounce, 1 ounce, 1.5, 2 ounces for a 2-ounce jigger. And it was so amazing because, if like you just have a shot glass and you're trying to measure anything, it's just not easy. And you're always like trying to eye it. And it's such a beautiful thing to me. And it just always sat on my dad's bar. And so that was something special to recreate. So we did that. It's in a brass. And so we actually did a whole collection based on Pappy's Punch Bowl, which is one of the few things that my parents were able to buy back from Stitzelweller Distillery. They got wind of a auction in the 90s of auctioning off the rest of the items that were left from Pappy's era in the Stitzelweller Distillery. And so luckily my parents were at the auction, and the story goes that my mom was like eyeing the other person that she was bidding against. And I'm not going to tell it right. And I need to read the story again. It's in Pappy Land, I believe, the book about my dad. Mm-hmm. But she basically, like, an evil eye, like this
Heck
is
yeah.
mine, like, let me have this. This is our family.
Uh-huh.
And she got
Yeah.
it. I think she paid more than she could afford at the time. But so that's just a really special foundational piece in our family. And, it's what we serve eggnog out of at Christmas. And so we recreated that punch bowl and then created a whole collection of bar accessories inspired by family pieces. And then jigger was one of them. So I use that a lot in my house. And then the other thing I'm just obsessed with is our cutting board. So we use our barrel staves, and Jason Cohen, the local woodworker, he now works with us in-house, which is really exciting, but he's always worked with us on the side and created a lot of products out of our wood for us. And now he's a team member, which is just really exciting. But he makes these beautiful cutting boards, and it's reminiscent of butcher block, and it's as sturdy as butcher block. But what's cool is that you see the stripes of like the butcher block, the way they're all like, glued together. But in between the stripes are black because of the char. So it's the staves laid on their side. And then there's a little bit, it's not perfectly square because of the curvature of the staves. And I have like a small one that just sits by the sink where I just like cut an apple or, butter toast or something. So I've been obsessed with those for years. But anyway, I could keep going, but I'll stop there.
Well, then,
But yeah,
one last question.
Go
Well,
that
go
we
ahead.
want to use that we appreciate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So as one of the questions I had for you is the punch bowl on the picture, or on the website. There's the three sisters.
Right.
Who's the guy in there? Who's the you know who that is with you? I didn't know if you remembered the photo shoot or anything you did, because obviously
Right.
it looks like. But to your point, you all look, and it's when you do those things. Obviously, you're around. You're doing the photo shoots for anything like that. You're having fun, but it looked genuine. It looked like family. I thought it was, but I wasn't going to say is that your dad.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's
awesome.
awesome.
I can't even pull it up, but I know I'm like the punch bowl. I don't think I've been. Yep, that's my dad.
It looked like family it looked like family being around a punch bowl. So that's why I was asking the question.
Well, and
Right.
holiday season coming around, I imagine probably quite a few of those selling on the site.
Yeah. We knew that the smaller accessories like the shaker is really great, and the jigger and the stir, and we have this cool ice bucket that's inspired by our grandfather. His name was Fafa, and he had this really cool stainless steel cooler, but it was an ice bucket, and so we recreated that, and those sell really well. The punch bowl is still kind of an old-fashioned thing, but what's fun about what we do is that people aren't really serving punch, and they're not like having a traditional dining table with the punch, the red punch and stuff. But we use it for a champagne bucket. We put a plant in it, for a centerpiece. I know I'm talking to a bunch of men here, but like what we do.
We know what those are. We know what those things are.
So did you call your grand?
But use it more all for the other things that are not an actual punch bowl, like just a vessel.
Right.
So.
Did you reference your grandfather as Fafa? Is that what you said, Fafa?
Yes. I don't know where.
Yeah. So is that Big
from.
Van?
Yes. His other nickname is Big Van because he was very large.
Big
and Pappy
Van.
was small.
Okay. And did you get to meet your great grandfather? Were you still?
Sadly,
do you have memories?
He actually died when my dad was even, I want to say, like 12 or 14. Pappy did, and then
okay.
His son, my grandfather, he died when we were 2. Sadly, he died of prostate cancer.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
I was kind of doing the timeline, because it looks like great grandfather was 18 selling Weller, and at 15 years later, so that makes him 33, became part owner.
Right.
But how do you become a Pappy at 33 years old? So
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, and then Big Van, I caught on to, I catch on to that. I saw pictures, so I saw that. I understood that one. And then the dad didn't get a nickname. No.
No, I mean, now his grandfather name is Juju, which is.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, it's crazy to think my dad was 30 when his dad died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like he had to figure it out all for himself.
Well, you've done a great job.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
it.
So what's it like for you guys, Carrie? You referenced some of the products and things, the merchandise, right?
Mhm.
So Craig asked, what was it like growing up? And I think you probably grew up before the bourbon boom, right? So now that things are where they are, and you guys are part of the most iconic name, I think, in the bourbon world, are people throwing themselves at you, trying to drive partnerships? Like, do you have to be safeguard almost, if you will,
Kind of.
relative to the brand?
Yeah, it's a good question, but not as much as you'd think. Um, we do get inquiries quite a bit, but not excessive, I would say. And no, I think because maybe I don't know, we are such a lifestyle oriented brand, Pappy and Company, and so I don't. The brand collaborations that I seek out are not what are coming to me. I guess I should say. It's interesting. I mean, maybe I would like to get more inquiries that are like truly, really, really cool. Whereas I feel like I'm the one still being like, God, that would be so cool to work with this brand or that brand.
Like Southern Hang,
Southern Hang,
specifically.
right? Yeah.
The Southern Hang podcast,
Yes,
Pappy Van
exactly,
Winkle collab.
exactly.
Right.
Yes.
That collab
Th-
would be right.
This is the collab. It's over right now. Carrie is just ending it right now.
Yeah, I know. I've made it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, not like you think. I mean, I still feel like a little fish in a big pond. And I think also because we just don't put ourselves out there in a huge way. You know, we're kind of, in the whole scheme of things, we're kind of shy and modest in regards to like brand presence too. Like, it's not our nature to put ourselves out there in a huge way. So it's like work when we do. But yeah, so people aren't throwing themselves at us. No, sorry, there's not. I wish a little more.
Maybe after this episode, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to this press, we'll see. I'll let you know what happens next week. But I will say, when we do want to work with someone, but I'm not talking like a massive brand, but just even like if we need to work with a marketing firm or any kind of supplier or anyone that this would be something amazing to have on their resume, I understand that it is definitely a win-win. And they, and actually when we first started, we had this really high level branding firm. It was a feather in their cap. It was something, that we could pay pennies for, and it was a huge brand recognition for them. So that kind of thing happens, but I haven't had like this massive like brand collaboration thing come to us.
Gotcha.
So you said the website's been around for, what would you say, 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. That kind of takes us to 2013. So like Pappygate, like happening right about the same time as that, right? Like, how much changed for you guys when that all went down?
Not much, just frustration and annoyance, really. Yeah. I think just from like, it really was not even a big deal in the sense of letting it get to us, because it was everyone else's talk and it wasn't our story. And I think it was unfortunate that it happened, and it was frustrating that went down. Right.
We're talking about the bourbon theft. Is that what you're talking? That's what you're referencing, the bourbon theft. Sorry, just for the folks. I sip on it, but I don't write it.
Got to make sure I keep my words in check.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm just, we talked about like, is there anything off limits? Well, there's going to be one thing that's a little interesting to talk about, but we have, what the whole thing about, I think the annoyance was that how people would spin it, that it was a marketing campaign or a marketing ploy, which is absolutely asinine. And then the frustrating part is just that went down at the distillery, and it was an unfortunate thing that happened. And that we just had to deal with the negative press, but at the same time, like, just not going to let it get to you, and you have to move on. Right. And it was really sad that they had to dump the whiskey.
Yeah, I know.
Part of
when they found
the
it.
story now. Yeah.
I wept. I wept a little bit that day.
I did too.
Can we just take it? Like, because I don't have any to drink myself. So can we just like put it in our basement? And
You don't actually have a bottle on the shelf of.
I have a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
really. Yeah. One.
Yeah, I've got a bottle. I've got a 10-year-old Rip. I've got a 12 of Pappy and a 15-year Pappy.
Yep.
So
It's more than I have in my cabinet right now.
yeah, I spent I've got a great picture. I don't know if I showed you when we met at Bourbon and Beyond, but I was having a good evening drinking wine, and my son's school was doing a silent auction, and I'm on the silent auction having a good time, and there's that 15 years on there, and so I'm bidding on this silent auction, and then go to bed, forget about it, and the next day I get up and I'm like, oh, I won. And so then I'm on the road. I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, will you go by the school and pick up my bottle of Pappy that I won? So I get this picture back from my wife, and it's a bottle of Pappy, and then she's giving me this finger like, I can't believe you spent this amount of money on this bottle
You
of
just
bourbon.
forget
I was
about
like,
that real fast.
Yeah. I was like, it went for a good cause, baby. It was for the children. So.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
For the kids. For the
No, that
kids.
is what's
Right.
cool is how much money it can raise for really important organizations. So it's a definitely silver lining of the position that we're in to have such a rare bourbon that the demand exceeds the supply. So, that's one special aspect of it, that how much money it raises for.
Well, let's talk about that Pappy and Company bios on you and your sisters on there, because I thought the part that I liked on that was that each one of y'all lists your favorite drink as some form of tequila beverage. the Pappy, which I love tequila too. Those are bourbon and tequila are probably my top two, beverages. But I thought it was, I'm reading through y'all's bios on the webpage, and I'm like, well, hell, like you need to.
I know.
Now you need to go off and get a Van Winkle tequila,
Well,
so.
exactly. No, you're preaching to the choir there. But yeah, I mean, at least, everything on the site is legit. It's real. It's not pretend.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess what that says.
You're making drinks.
We like bourbon. We just drink tequila more.
We've kind of switched about a year ago.
I actually shouldn't say I like tequila more. I drink it more as an everyday spirit than whiskey. I usually save that for like cold weather.
Yeah.
Or, an after dinner drink for me, or if I'm out at a restaurant, I don't, it's not what I go to, like if I'm making a cocktail in the backyard or like right now, cause I'm having a drink.
Yeah.
Cause it's just like, I drink tequila soda with a splash of grapefruit. It's just a light, refreshing thing. I love bourbon, and there's something about it that is just so nostalgic. And yeah, when we were little, we would climb up on the ladder of the big tanks. I don't know what you call them besides that. And you would just get a big whiff, and just even the strong nature of the alcohol flavor and smell of bourbon. I love the smell of it in a bottle. I like the smell of like when someone's drinking a bourbon, like that fresh, like bourbon smell that's just around.
Mm-hmm.
I love it all. It's just not like, it's more, I guess I just save it for more special occasions, I guess.
Yeah. If you're pouring yourself a bourbon, are you going neat, or are you making like an old fashioned?
Yeah. Old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
Great call. Great call.
Yeah, good call. Good call. I think we had that in a couple of early episodes discussing old fashions between Red and Sherman, or Neil and I.
Really?
So we have to ask. I know you said your family's not necessarily big into the horse racing scene, but we did have an episode. What's your position on mint juleps?
Oh, that's what it was. There you go.
Oh, okay. I love a mint julep. I think there's nothing better than legitimate ingredients. Okay. I'm sorry. I have to say, a mint julep at Churchill Downs. No, thank you. I would go for probably a Coors Light.
There you go.
But
for longevity.
at home, simple syrup or truly just sugar, muddled with mint and crushed ice and good bourbon and fresh mint, you can't go wrong for a Derby tradition. I've gotten into things like bourbon spritzes with Aperol and soda. Like I crave maybe more of that. I don't know why. I think because a mint julep to me is definitely like a warm weather thing, and I'd rather have like soda in it or lemon or just more of a mixed drink cocktail, like lighter and fresher rather than like a stiff, basically bourbon with ice. So I think that's why I wouldn't go for it in the spring,
Well, and
when
it
I have
trickled
other
down.
options.
So those are the other guys. They use the other guys. So we don't, they're not using the right
Yeah,
brand.
and I think it's like whatever their little concoction is, it just isn't necessarily real. Like there's something to be said for the true, real, simple ingredients.
I feel like because I'm on the fence I'm not on the fence. I'm on the opposite side of the fence from these boys where I just don't like a mint julep. So they've been trying to tell me that the right one is out there that I need to try. So, but I feel like I got to go to Idaho. I mean, I feel like the only real way I can take this in is if we come to Idaho, make one, there, and sit on the front porch, sit on the porch and
well,
drink one.
what is fun too is doing like blind taste testing, like where you have zero, whatever, where you can't see the label or you can't see the glass. You just drink it and taste it, and I think maybe that's what they need to do with you.
Well, I did write down bourbon spritz Aperol, and my wife fell in love with the Aperol spritz when we were somewhere, St. Martin or something. She loved them. Oh, and we've had this bottle after I don't know, like something like a week or something that we drank those spritzes, and then that kind of went wayside. Now I'm gonna be making me one of those tomorrow.
Oh, they're
night
so good.
Later on. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find the recipe on our blog.
Oh, I'm in. I'm not cracking that 10, 12, or 15. Those,
I love like
kind
of like a daiquiri type thing, but with bourbon. So I'm finding that I really do like mixed drinks with bourbon, and my dad makes me feel better about it. You don't have to be a purist, and if you like bourbon, you should only be drinking it straight or on the rocks. Like you can enjoy a bourbon cocktail, and it's not gross or too sweet, or you can really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Are y'all neat guys?
No. If I'm drinking bourbon, it's usually I'm usually on the rocks, and then I like to let my ice melt a little bit, and then, but I neat every once in a while. I did have 20-year Pappy about a month ago. We were out and had a client that was a vendor that was with us and had never been in Kentucky, and we had a bunch of us out, and he's like, "Oh, we're drinking Pappy tonight." And I'm like, "Do you know what you're doing?" And I was like, "You know what you're paying for that?" And he's like, "That's all right. I'm buying." So
hopefully it was somewhat affordable.
Oh, it was great. It was. We drank it neat. We didn't mess with that one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yeah. We had a work dinner. I wasn't there, but with our cigar partners, Drew Estate, and they're really kind and usually pay the bill. They're a lot bigger than we are, and they're a big corporate brand at this point. And anyway, they have a bigger wining and dining budget, and so they bought Pappy at the restaurant for us and all of them.
Oh, that's great.
So he's like, I kind of felt bad. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we're not going to go spend what that restaurant's charging, but sometimes I think it was more appropriate. Like you'd hope that some restaurants are not just shooting for the moon, and it's not just really embarrassing what they're charging, and that it makes sense why it's more expensive but not unaffordable, and you're like ripping people off.
Yeah, unfortunately, Louisville, Kentucky is the mecca of or the state of Kentucky is the mecca of bourbon, and I know that the people are looking for that, so they're that number is secondhand is high.
It is.
We did the Kentucky we did the Kroger raffle last year. Kroger puts out that Yeah, and we did it last
Yeah.
year, mapped out the Krogers, and then we had a blast. We had like 2 other couples, and we all rode around that night and had a little cooler. And well, maybe I'm supposed to say the driver did not have drinks,
Right.
but the rest of us in the car were right. And then we ran to each.
That's
I think we
fun.
made about 9. It was fun. It was fun. That's a good
That's what they're getting
good
ready
thing
to
that
come up.
Kroger does with the
Yeah, they're doing that again. No, not September. They're doing that November. Was it November?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
It was around this time of the year. I
I
remember
just got
being
an
chilly.
email
I remember
about it.
being chilly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's coming up. So I didn't know that there was that component. I thought it was just an online thing. So that would be fun.
No, you can put in one ticket per Kroger in a 4-hour window. And so we
okay.
mapped out like however many Krogers we could hit up, and then we had more. We kind of gave up. We went to like 9 or 10. Then we're like, all right, we're ready to go get a bite to eat and get a drink
Yeah,
and chill
that's
out.
impressive.
But we had a blast.
Fun.
Well, good. So what? Go ahead, Red. You got something on your mind?
Well, I was just curious, right? So, like with the company, you guys have obviously enjoyed some success, right? We've been around 12 or 13 years, you said. Like, what do you have a vision of what you want the legacy to be, or what is there an end game, or just do you want to take over the world, or like what does that look like?
I think just like what I've always known, and is like slow and steady wins the race. I think just doing it deliberately and paced. I mean, I feel like too, we've also been in a phase of raising children. And so we've done it at a pace that has still been kind of strong for feeling like we're not pulled in too many directions. And yeah, it's not a great answer, but we want to keep going and we're excited. Everything that I do is because I'm inspired by it. And that's what's kind of driving what we're doing with Pappy and Company. So I don't see that would ever end because I'm constantly coming up with new ideas. And I will say that people bring ideas to us. And so maybe it's not, like I said, like the big collaboration, but it's a great idea of a product collaboration. And I would love to just continue to create things that are not just about the bourbon, but are more of like our everyday lives that it can inspire you guys, other people to do things with past traditions that maybe get forgotten about or not appreciated. Because those are the things that we realize that, we didn't know that we appreciated, but now that we have this special business in front of us, that those things are really special to remember and to hold close, because that's all you have for your children. And we know how quickly history gets lost. And so we're so lucky that we get an opportunity to hold on to that. And so I want other people to realize that it's important to do the same, because it's what builds strong foundations as people and, helps us create the values that we want for our own families. If I'm getting a little deep, but yeah.
It's a long quote for a T-shirt cover, but I loved it. I loved every bit.
Well, it leads me to what we're doing with the book. So I know I was mentioning before we started that.
Yeah.
We have a book coming out next year, and it really is that about,
that's amazing.
Not forgetting the past, being inspired by it, and using it in a new way that works for you and your family, and just shows that level of hospitality, which isn't about truly like doing, having a fancy dinner party. It's just about a feeling and just opening your door to have people come in to your house and have a good time together. Like, people don't do that anymore because they don't trust themselves that they can, or that they have the right table setting or the right glasses. And it's like, you don't need any of that. That's not what hospitality is. And so awesome. There's lots of things like that. I feel that I think there's lots of opportunity to build through a business.
Is that book written, or is that book being written?
Yep. Yeah, we have the manuscript that we're working on finishing right now, and then we have a few more photo shoots.
That's great.
Yeah, it's with Clarkson Potter as our publisher, and we're just really excited about it. I think it'll be a great thing for the sisters and what we've created with Pappy and Company, but a great thing to really help show the world who our dad is and what he created and what we're going to protect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your comments, kind of like family tradition. And, you referenced earlier kind of keeping the kids grounded. Do your all's kids know kind of how, pardon my French, but how badass you guys are? Like, I mean, you all are a big deal.
No, I mean, it's kind of the thing where I'm like, even this evening, because I saw someone texted that the book got published, an announcement about the book got published in like the biggest publisher's editorial something. And I was like, look, Hank, I mean, read this. And it says like, the great granddaughters of Pappy Van Winkle, launching, I guess it's out there, like the title and everything. I better look. See, make sure I don't say something I'm not supposed to. But anyway, it's a cool title, and it's just really special. And they don't. He's like, cool, Mom. They just. And it's
Cool
not even
story.
because it's not even because I want the
Now take me to
recognition.
practice.
Do you realize
Right.
that this
Look.
is the cool thing for you too, buddy? Like, you get to use this one day potentially if you want to, and make something out of it. But yeah, I mean, 16 is the last thing you care about is anything your mom's doing. So maybe that'll come in time.
Do Luis and Chenault have children as well?
They do. Yep. Everyone has 2 children except Louise has 3. And I think, they have girls. Chenault and Louise have girls. My brother has a girl. And I can see the girls being more interested, obviously, because they're girls. And they obviously, too, are just, they have the opportunity to go to the office more or go to the warehouse or, so they see it more. Whereas my children, we've grown up going back to Louisville usually between Thanksgiving and Christmas because we were always helping out in fulfillment and shipping boxes. And it was just like a time when they were little that it would be easy to be in Louisville and be, boots on the ground for the holiday season. And so they get to see it then, but otherwise, they're kind of hands off. And I'm kind of one of those people that I work and then I don't talk about, I'm not one, like people are like, how's work? And for some reason, I just am not one I just kind of leave it at my desk. I don't talk about my work very much.
You gotta have
My
you gotta
children,
have a little separation.
Yeah, I wish they did. I did tell them more. I think in due time they'll understand and appreciate it in their own way. And similar to us that, I would never want to make something out of something that, I think it should just be more natural too, the way they figure out what they feel about it and what they want to do with it.
With obviously with you and Luis and Chenault same age, and then Preston's not far separated in age. Are the kids all on the same kind of general age? Is there any of them that are already trying to put their foot in the door and be associated, or are y'all, are you and your sisters and your brother the ones that are working, and the rest of them are just,
It's a really good question. I mean, I think it's kind of knocking on our doorstep for some of us. I mean, some of them are 16, and before we know how fast time goes, but generally it is wild that there's 9 grandkids, all between, like, the youngest are almost 11 and almost 16.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So they're all, like, 9 of them really close together.
That's great.
So it'll be interesting. And they're all very close. So,
well, technology got to help with that a little bit too, right? With you guys being say out west, you guys are probably above the 800 zip code, but technology, being able to Teams and FaceTime and keep in touch with their cousins, I assume anyway.
Yeah, and the cousins, I feel like, we go to Michigan in the summers together where we've always gone, and that's like an amazing family time that they all, I think, truly appreciate and feel at this point. And then, I mean, honestly, my youngest, who's 11, still would love to leave school and come back to Louisville with me anytime. My 16-year-old's on a whole nother level of, on fully his own program and worrying about himself and everything in his life. But we see everybody a lot somehow. My parents are getting ready to come out here in a couple weeks for a couple days, and then we're gonna be back in Louisville for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we do get a lot of family time, which is special. The cousins, there's something about cousins. I'm sure y'all can agree if you have cousins that, they're just built-in friends. They just respect and appreciate each other so much, which is just really special.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
In Idaho, is 16 the driving age?
15.
15.
I think 14 and a half is when you get your freaking permit.
Wow. All right. So you're seasoned now and sending your kid off in a car.
Oh, yeah. It's no big deal. But luckily, what's cool is that, there's no highway to hop on. So four-way stops are your trickiest situation around here. So you really...
Well, that's why he doesn't want to come back to Louisville. He's got it made. Got it made.
Hank, when it was this summer, I guess we were back there, he had just gotten his license, and all the younger cousins were like, whoa, we get to go out around Louisville with Hank, like no parents. They just go to Chick-fil-A and the gas station.
Right.
It was amazing.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
We have trackers now.
That's
This
true.
generation
Life
is
360.
Yeah.
360. Yeah. Well, I hate that I've been the one talking all the time. I know the people who listen to you guys know your all's backstory, but I'll have to ask on the side when, another time, because I do love hearing what your all's story is and how you four have gotten into this. So it's really fun that you all are doing it.
Well, you may have led me to a segue. So now that you and I and Sherm have gone to a music festival and we've been on a podcast, we're basically like BFFs. So when y'all throw the Van Winkle Derby party, do we get to get to come with our wives and we can all hang out and then we can sample some of your drinks, your mixed cocktails,
tequila
for sure.
Yeah,
we just gotta plan that next Derby party is all.
Yeah. And then I assume y'all will be bourbon and beyonding it
Yes.
For future years to come, correct? Oh, well, good.
Yes,
We'll definitely be able to see each other out there.
I do forget there are some fun collaborations coming up that reached out to us that that are sunglass
breaking news.
Another Louisville local spice brand. I guess I just need to keep it under wraps. But we're thinking bourbon and beyond.
I can solve those riddles. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were thinking bourbon and beyond would be such fun ways to launch those collaborations. So look forward to more fun at Bourbon and Beyond. Yeah, we just love it.
Maybe we'll be on the stage. Maybe we'll have a stage presence next year, and we can have y'all up in an interview and talk about We'll be on the side on the podcast stage off to the side, and we can talk about your collabs. That'd be awesome.
Craig, I thought you were going to take this in a different direction, right? So we talk about music a lot, and the other three guys love music, like I enjoy music, but we've also built a playlist. And I thought Craig was going to ask you. One thing we didn't talk about was what kind of music are you into, but is there a song you would want to add to our playlist, or what's your current favorite artist?
Okay,
hate to put you on the spot.
I am horrible on the spot because I like so much, but
who were you excited to catch that day or that weekend at Bourbon and Beyond? If that maybe that'll hone it.
Well, I love Nathaniel Rateliff.
Yeah. Look, and she said it right.
Yeah,
she did it better than I did. Yeah, she said it right. I mess it up. So that's it.
I learned very soon after I learned of him that it's not Ratliff.
That's right.
It's not a rat.
Yeah.
I appreciate so much, but that's one thing our dad, I love. I mean, there's lots of things that we love about our dad, but he taught us how to love music and just so much variety of music growing up, and some good, some bad, but I loved it all.
What type of music did you grow up on? What was he playing? What was he? And was it a range or kind of where?
It was a range. It was anything from obviously Motown to Tom Petty to Fleetwood Mac, Steve Winwood, Eric Clapton.
You could do all right with that.
Yeah.
That's a good list. All those are great.
Yeah. And then he even But then he would throw in like Taylor Dane and Fine Young Cannibals.
Hey,
All right. Hey, there you go.
let's go. Let's go.
There you go. Yeah, our if you get to listen to we're all over the place on our music. So
I know I have to check out your playlists.
yeah, we've got yes, check out the playlist. It's here in a couple of weeks we'll be adding some 80s. We've got an 80s hair band episode that's coming out, so it may differentiate our
It'll
playlist.
veer off a little bit on that.
Still some good music. Still some good music. But,
That's fun.
not some of the stuff that we listen to like every day, So yeah, I just got my Railbird. I just got my Railbird tickets, and I've submitted to see if we can get media credentials for us to come out there and do that one too. So I'm hoping.
That'd be a blast. I haven't gotten there yet, but they always have an amazing lineup. Who are the highlights this year?
Oh, they got Tyler Childers and Zach Top and
Lumineers, I think,
and Robert Earl Keen,
and Camp, Mount Joy,
Camp, Lumineers. Yeah, what's our hot one out of Kentucky now?
Stephen Wilson Jr.
Yeah, Stephen Wilson Jr. It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup.
So fun.
Yeah. Well, Miss Carrie, I appreciate you coming on the show. We don't need to hold up your time anymore, and
I'm happy to be here.
We're just glad we got to have you on and meet you better. And I really enjoyed our time at Bourbon and Beyond and hanging out with your sisters and then your friend too. I forget her name that was there that day, but
Katie, I think.
Yeah. But man, we appreciate it. There's a lot of fun, and we're excited to watch the Pappy and company grow. And I'm definitely going to go, buy some stuff off there for the coming holiday seasons. So
for sure.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your support and look forward to hanging out with you guys in some way sometime soon.
Killer, just let us know when those Derby invitations are coming out. I'll look for those.
keep us posted on the book.
The Derby
book
party,
release.
right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the book release. Congratulations on that. That is awesome. Yeah. Cool family. I love hearing how humble y'all are. That is great.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. Take care.
Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, have a great night.